Episode 38 of Cinema Curse. Tonight, this is the kind of episode that makes you wish ABC hadn't forced them to resolve the mystery so early and then making Lynch leave the show, abandon the show. That's right, we're talking about episodes 21 through 25 of Twin Peaks. I'm your wicked game master, Connor Lloyd Crews, and I am back here once more with my Twin Peaks in their own way. First off,
I don't know what that means.
it's Bobby.
What'd you just call me?
It's little Bobby. It's little Bobby
What the fuck
Benfer.
did you just call me?
And we also have Jason.
Hello.
And
Good to be here again.
yes, thank you. Thank you for joining last week for the big 1 year spectacular, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I had a hard time choosing which clip from our discussion of Tough Guys Don't Dance I'm going to post, whether it's going to be the one where I talk about the scene where the guy has the stroke and talks about how much he made her come, or the scene where you introduce the idea of the web of cuckoldry that is the plot of the film. I would like to thank Marina Sakamoto and her band Shunken for the use of their song Curse off the EP She Nods for our opening. It's been 273 days since the AE strikes ended, and the AMPTP still sucks. And how are you guys? How are y'all?
I'm doing okay. Not too bad.
I was doing pretty good until I watched these episodes.
Before we get started on the episodes themselves, I do want to say that, like, since the last time we did one of these episodes, David Lynch has basically announced that he said he's never going to retire, but that he is essentially never going to be able to leave his house again because he has emphysema and he does not want to die from COVID.
Yeah.
So I will be very sad the day that Mr. David Lynch goes with us, and my thoughts are with him. I hope he stays healthy. And
Gotta get to the Dumbland season 2.
Yeah, he's got to get back on the doing the weather reports. You know, if he can't leave the house, that's the perfect outlet. You know.
Maybe we can hand draw the snoots.
Yeah. He could direct something in his house, maybe.
Do stop motion. Or do
Yeah.
like puppets.
Hell yeah. My friend Alex
Stream games on Twitch.
But yeah, I feel for a situation. My partner Sceffy's got a lung thing that makes COVID especially dangerous. So
Yeah.
I don't leave the house too often either.
Yeah. But also, I don't know, while you were watching these, Bobby, you sent me
Yeah, I was sending you guys texts.
You sent me a picture, and I wanted to read some of the, so you sent me a picture, a screen cap from the show. Here you can see the guy's face. It's like a close up of It's like a close-up of a newspaper, and it's about the Josie's, I forget what the character's name is. It's like supposed to be Josie's cousin, but is like chauffeur, but they're fucking, but he's actually just some guy who works for Thomas Eckert. And the article is about his death, which we find out, spoiler, in this episode, it was Josie. I want to read what the article says because it's really funny. When you sent this to me, Bobby, were you sending it to me because of what the article said, or just because of the image?
Just like the Asian man dead.
You didn't read what the article said?
No, I didn't read the article.
So yeah, so it's a picture of the guy, and it's Asian man killed is the headline. The three paragraphs that we can see best. It says, an immediate investigation is assured and indications are that some new light will be shed on the situation in the near future. Available facts seem vague, but authorities feel that time will disclose some means of arriving at a solution. Future plans will, of necessity, have great bearing on the situation as it now stands. Decisions will have to be made if the actual planning of the project will take considerable time, but it is felt that these steps are very important. However, several committee chairpersons feel that the meeting is long overdue and that its delay has only served to widen the gap between those in favor and those against the resolutions that will be put before them at that time.
If this came out today, I would be convinced it was ChatGPT.
Yeah. And you can kind of see, like, thus at this conference, all our governments found themselves in unanimous agreement regarding this undertaking. And then another paragraph, the facts regarding the situation remain the same. Details concerning have been given a preliminary investigation. It's just, gobbledygook. It's good stuff.
I'm really bad about just reading the headline but not reading the article. I'm sorry about that, Connor.
No, it's okay.
As someone who's done multiple videos with article jokes and stuff, they should have put the effort in. They should have.
Yeah.
They should have rewarded someone going over that with a fine-tooth comb.
But speaking of fine-tooth combs, let's start with our first episode 21. I've got this ominous picture behind me of the tape, the tarp getting torn after the opening.
It looks like a Frankenstein burst through there.
yeah. This episode, I guess last episode ended with the cliffhanger of Leo waking up, and this episode starts with him menacing Shelly before Bobby shows up, and they sort of save each other, and then Leo wanders through the plastic out into the woods. We have a lot of these first 4 episodes are doing a lot of like cleaning up the like shitty season 2 side stories. Though there is development, obviously, also a lot on some news stories, including like the Wyndham Earl stuff being the big thing. Which, speaking of, like usual with the Twin Peaks, I have them divided up into a bunch of little points. I'm just going to go down. You guys just interrupt me if you have something to inject. Wyndham Earl is my first section. At the beginning, the other I guess we had 2 cliffhangers last time. There was the guy who they found in the dead in Truman's office. And they find a pawn in his mouth. The MO is Wyndham's, and Harry gives Coop the case. Coop and Wyndham used to play chess, but Coop never won. And Coop gives his sort of overall... We kind of get the full story, I think, as much as we ever get it with Wyndham, which is that they were partners. They looked after this woman, Carolyn. Coop and her fell in love. She was killed in the same way that this guy was killed. And it seems like the whole situation is Wyndham went nuts because Carolyn was his wife. Coop thinks he killed her. Well, he's pretty sure. And pretty sure she saw the crime that they were originally protecting her from. He has that line about Wyndham Earl, which is funny considering what we actually see of him in these episodes, which is the Wyndham Earle's mind is like a diamond, cold and hard and brilliant. And then, you know, cut to him meowing.
Yeah, I was when Cooper's talking about like Wyndham Earle, like he wouldn't have left any fingerprints. Like he's such a meticulous, brilliant, perfect criminal. And cut to Wyndham Earle dancing around with his flute.
Yeah, it definitely there is kind of a congruity between the way that Coop is reacting to this stuff and the way Kenneth Welsh, the actor, is playing Wyndham Earle and how he's being written.
Sounds like Coop read the script and Wyndham didn't.
I think it might be. I think they were given two different scripts or something. Wyndham was given the Goofy script. Oh, the Goofy Boy script for Goofy Boys. All right, well that's all the shit we get for that one, and then we get a bunch of fucking it's motherfucking we also get a lot of these episodes. The big storyline that's kind of runs through all of them is like the Josie Eckhart Packard stuff.
We also learned the answer to whether or not Little Nicky is the devil.
That was my next bullet point. Little Nicky. And Andy is like, we have to talk about Nicky to Lucy, but Lucy doesn't believe him. And then later, Doc pulls Andy's and Dick's ears into a conference room and tells them a sob story about little Nicky, that he's just a normal kid whose parents have died.
He pulled their bodies out of a car trying to save them, but it didn't work.
Mm-hmm. And that's that's all, folks.
Why'd you do it?
No, that was the wrong one. There we go. I fucked up my bit. But hey, whatever. I have this one from James with Evelyn.
Why'd you do
it? He walks into the room.
Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it?
But anyways, speaking of, what's James up to? He meets Jeffrey, who is not a giraffe. Big G gets into a car crash and the car James fixed. There's a bunch of drama here that I don't really feel like recapping. Basically, James was set up. This stuff slides off my brain more than anything else in the show, I think, these scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, these episodes are what we call in the business second monitor content. That's kind of how I watched these. I was playing the New Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Fallout New Vegas.
Ed and Doc Hayward have a nice little moment. I actually do like this moment where they're talking about James and Donna, and he's like, not easy being a parent. And we also find out that Nadine apparently fucks like a maniac now. It's just apparently like he's like, Ed is like, I feel like I've been hit by a bus or whatever he says. Which, you know, hey man, that's what I was talking about last time, where it's like, I get it. Civil War Ben, Jacoby is a terrible shrink.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's never been a worse shrink than he is in. I know that's not the proper term, but I think for him it is. I
have in my notes here, local psychiatrist gives actionable advice.
He thinks Ben needs a Confederate victory to heal his brain. So, anyways, Briggs shows up and doesn't trust the military anymore, which is based. And then oh yeah, we get the resolution of the sexy lady stuff. Jacoby clears her by spending the last 24 hours with her, which doesn't make sense because this scene comes after the scene where he's with Ben, so whatever. But apparently she's just really sexy. Apparently that's her main issue, is she's just like fucking, she's like exuding. She's like a she's like a male protagonist in like a hentai or something, who's just like exuding pheromones and attracting women all over, but you know, reverse. Whoop.
So it's speaking of someone in a position of authority, a professional derelicting their duties. The sheriff, when that what's his name, comes up with a shotgun.
The mayor.
The mayor shows up with a shotgun. They resolve that by putting him in a room alone with a woman he came to kill.
Yeah. It's not a good. They should have taken the shotgun from him. I'm gonna say that's the big issue. Because without a weapon, I don't think he would have been able to kill her. He's a very old man. You know what I mean? But they should have taken the shotgun away from him. And I do also, I like that gag where they wait for him over the commercial break, where they're like waiting, and then it like cuts to commercial, and then they're still in the same position. And Andy has that line where he's like, "It's hard waiting." And Jacoby's just like giggling the whole time. And then they come back into the room, and she and the mayor are making out.
Yep.
And that's that.
Plot resolved. A new age gap relationship.
Porky Pig comes out. Jason, we're moving on. I know how much you like Josie and the Pussycats, but what about Josie and the Packards? Pete dramatically forgets the weenies, which is a funny scene also. There's a lot of like there's like each of these episodes has like 5 minutes of little bits at least that I always like and enjoy when I'm watching them, and it's always stupid shit like that. We find out that Aaron Eckhart, they knew that he was going to kill Andrew Packard, so they faked Andrew's death. And then we find out that Aaron Eckhart is being played by famous character actor David Warner, is in Twin Peaks, fucking completely wasted in the boring part of Two-Face. And then we meet Wyndham at the end when Leo stumbles into his cabin. Even though we knew we were going to meet him because his name is in the opening credits, Kenneth. Yeah. It's not just Kenneth Welsh; it's Kenneth Welsh as Wyndham Earl. It's like, okay, well, I guess. Yeah. I guess he's in this one.
Here
comes trouble.
Leo escapes just to become a Wyndham Earl minion for the rest of the rest of the show.
Yeah, he is a minion to Wyndham Earl's Gru.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't really know what to do with Leo, but they were like, well, Wyndham needs someone to talk to, and Leo's not going to talk much, so.
And well, I will say, in a weird way, it does. For the first time in the series, you are like kind of more sympathetic to Leo in a way. I mean, I guess you've kind of been a little bit primed this season, but like in the context of Wyndham Earl, you know, like it was just like I mean, I guess Leo is one of the few. There are very few characters in Twin Peaks that are like irredeemable, and Leo is one of them. But and who don't even bother trying to get redeemed, you know. Because like in the context, you think about like Ben, who starts his redemption arc in this set of episodes, but it seems weird to think that he would have a redemption arc considering some of the stuff behind it, but he does, because that's kind of that's just Twin Peaks, you know. But Leo is one of the few that doesn't. But he kind of this season has like a softening at the very least, where we feel. It's not that we feel bad for him, but like you don't. I mean, like it's hard to feel totally like what Shelley and Bobby, and then especially what Wyndham is doing to him, is justified. Obviously.
Yeah, I didn't feel anything when I was watching this.
It's like he's like Leo's like Rita Repulsa, but then Lord Zed comes around. Yeah, and all of a sudden Lord Zed's in charge, and Rita's getting abused every episode.
Yeah, and
It's
you
like
feel
that.
bad. Yeah. I feel like if it does Leo die in this?
He's last seen like with yarn twine in his mouth that he's holding a spider trap above his head. That's the last shot you see of Leo. It's he's trapped in Wyndham's shed.
I think the book, one of the books killed him.
Really?
But I don't remember how.
I feel like if this show had gone on for more seasons, we would have gotten a Leo redemption arc, probably. That's my feeling, to a certain degree. You know, just because like it feels like they're starting to point towards him. I'm sure he'll still have to pay in some way.
Yeah, Fire Walk with Me didn't help do him any favors either.
No. But let's move on to the best episode of the show.
Yeah.
Episode 22, directed by Diane Keaton.
Shot's very symbolic. There's a lot of symbolic shots in this.
I don't know if this is the worst episode of the show because it is kind of weird in an interesting way, but certainly it's the most like pastiche episode of the show that feels like it's like going into like becoming shtick of itself, like it's like the fourth season of Community or something, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? I have this is the least amount of notes I've ever had for any episode. Also, I should say, like, for some reason I have so little notes for this, and a big part of it is this is the episode where they wrap up the whole James Evelyn dumb Sunset Boulevard thing they've got going on, and I just can't be bothered. That stuff just slides off my brain, but I have a big section at the top called "Let's Wrap This Shit Up," and we get a weird scene with all the cops at the bar. There's a lot of cops. You pointed this out, Jason. A lot of cops walking in unistep,
Lockstep,
moving around.
And here's the thing in the Civil War scene of this episode, the Civil War marching band is in the same lockstep.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah, and what does that mean?
I don't know.
There's a lot of things like that where I notice it's like very much intentional, but what does it mean? It might mean something.
When those three cops go at that one point, I thought of your old dub, Bobby. I don't know. Do you remember those, Jason? The Terminator thing.
Yeah.
We are going outside. We are going outside.
Yeah.
I because I don't really like Civil War Confederate Ben, but I let out an audible ugh at one point when they cut to the Evelyn stuff after Civil War Ben. Like, I was so much happier living in that world. I don't understand a lot of what's happening in this episode with them, to be honest. Like, why don't Donna and James just leave? Like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
And what's happening? It's like a shitty play. I also wrote this. I didn't even remember until I was like reviewing it why I wrote this, but I just wrote while I was watching it, oh my god, she's blowing smoke rings, who cares? And then that's when we also get this,
Why'd you do it?
James entering in and giving a very passionate
Why'd you do it?
Yeah, they talk horizontally for like 5 minutes. That's weird. I'm sure you had a screenshot of that.
And then Evelyn kills Malcolm. Moving on.
There's a shot in this where we see the chess pieces, and they're on I think it's supposed to be a chessboard. It looks like a checkers board. It's red and black, but that doesn't matter. But the pieces are on the chessboard, and then Diane Keaton expertly transitions that to a shot of the checkerboard pattern on the floor of the diner.
Oh, okay.
So it goes from the chess pieces on the checkerboard to the checkerboard pattern on the diner, and then she has Norma and Shelley kneeling down on the floor, each on a square, showing that they are also simply pieces on the board.
I didn't even catch that.
As I was watching, I watched this episode 2 times.
Damn, what the?
Because I was like, I know there's like so many like intentional directing decisions here, and I really wanted to pay attention.
That's what makes it weird, because I think this is definitely one of the worst episodes of Twin Peaks, but it's also, it feels like so much more directed than most of the other non-Lynch episodes, or especially the ones around it. It is weird.
Yeah, Diane Keaton has like very clearly like made a lot, like thought a lot, and made a lot of intentional decisions here, and I don't think many of them are very good. No, but it does give you like stuff you could analyze if you wanted to.
Like the scene with between Two-Face and Catherine, where the camera's just like. Yeah, like so we could tell you about Josie. Well, why don't you do like? Well, I think it's a thing that Josie could do. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nadine walks in on Ed and Norma, and she's okay with it. We find out that Hank is going to go to jail. We have a great hilarious moment involving a door and some coats and Pete and Coop. I mean, it's compared to some of the other stuff, it's actually kind of funny. Coop takes a sample from Josie's coats, which Albert later matches to Who Shot Coop, and Albert calls Harry the Big Lug, which I liked. Confederate Ben, we get a couple scenes with him. I do like the scene where Audrey strong arms her uncle into being like listen, no, I'm in charge, like, you fucking moron. I think that's a nice character moment. But then the North surrenders and they do like a fucking Wizard of Oz parody.
As Yoko Ono always says, war is over if you want it.
We get a couple Wyndham beats. Albert and Harry have a good hug. Albert has a good impression of Gordon, and I like his compliment about Cooper's his dress, basically saying like the thing about trading in the clean suit look for these muted earth tones is fashion suicide, but for you it works. And then Wyndham plays the flute menacingly and meows and
criminal mastermind.
I kept thinking about this line in Blowout, which I know, Bobby, you've seen. I think you haven't seen it, Jason. Blowout.
No.
Wow.
You should. I've got a good thing from my friend to read in a second here, but in Blowout, there's a part towards the end. This is a minor spoilers-ish for towards the end of the movie. Nancy Allen, one of the two leads, is walking around with John Lithgow, the villain, and they're walking in a subway, and he's like trying to like get her away from everyone to strangle her, and like we see him doing stuff, and then some guy, some like janitor or something, like cleaning the tracks, appears and like spooks her and like causes him to put away his thing, and she's like that, like what I'm saying, a creepy character like that, you never know who's down here. And that's like whenever I see Wyndham, I'm like, oh, what a creepy character. And then episode ends with this. Cooper he comes back to his hotel room and finds a mask of Carolyn in his bed, and he wishes that somebody would stop him being Wyndham Earle. But my friend, who I mentioned earlier, I forget if I mentioned this on air or off air, but my friend Alex, who's been on the show before quite a bit, less so this year because of his jorb, and he really likes all of the original show and doesn't like the return, and he wrote something, and I'm going to read it right now. Okay. And hopefully I'm going to skip over all the controversial stuff about world politics. But he wrote here, and it's perfect timing that he just sent this to me. Yes, I really enjoy that subplot with James and Evelyn. I think that people really don't like it because of where it occurs in the show, which is understandable. We know who Laura's killer is by this point, so we're desperate for another big intrigue, and obviously this subplot isn't that. But once I escape that parameter, I really enjoy the riff on Sunset Boulevard. not just because it's a movie that I really love, but also because we'll see Lynch riff on it later in his career in a profoundly different way in Mulholland Drive. The James Evelyn subplot is the perfect kind of soap opera thing Twin Peaks was satirizing from the very beginning, and I think people would be way less hostile to it if we're in like season 1 or something. Although then they might be annoyed that it's delaying their getting to the bottom of the mystery, so who really knows? Super not a fan of the Nadine in high school subplot, also not into Civil War Ben Horn. So, I think he just liked this more serious of these, but yeah.
I mean, he's definitely correct that the like it is very much the soap opera stuff that Twin Peaks is like built around, but I do feel like it's just that, like it's just soap opera stuff with like I feel like the stuff that Twin Peaks adds into the soap opera stuff is just missing. Yeah. And so it is like, for me it just feels like the soap opera and not the Twin Peaks. But
I
it's
agree.
like, yeah, it's like it's becoming the show. What was the show within the show? Invitation to Love.
Yeah, but that show seems more fun, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's my issue with it. I mean, it is. I mean, I still would say that, like, you know, Civil War Ben is probably my next least favorite storyline, probably. But I think the one thing I can give it is it's like funnier to laugh at in a way, whereas like the James Evelyn stuff, it's not even like funny in a bad way for the most part. I think.
Like what Jason said before we started recording, like it would have been a good one episode bit.
Yeah, that too. I think also if it had been like it went on for like 4 or 5 episodes, I think. Like, if it had been like a 2-episode arc or something, you know, like if we had been having all these like little adventures with James along the road, and every like 2 to 3 episodes it like changed, you know, locale or something, I think that people would have been more okay with that, you know. And also,
yeah, it feels a lot less like him like going on a road trip to clear his head, and more like him stumbling into a different show for a little bit.
Yeah, and I would also say that, like, and this is such a dumb thing to say, but if it was done better, people would have liked it more. You know what I mean? Like, I think a big reason why it failed is because it's not well written. And that's pretty much it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if this, like, obviously there was no way that this was going to stand up to them resolving the main storyline, but if Lynch hadn't have left, maybe, or if they had, I don't know, if ABC had allowed them to have that be like the end of the season or something, and then have like get to like figure out what the next season's going to actually be, instead of having to like build the runway as they're taking off. You could see storylines like this being better, you know,
and I think like there is a lot of stuff in Twin Peaks that I feel like is intentionally like especially when you get to like the return, there's a lot of stuff that I feel is intentionally prickly in a way that like whether people like it or not is maybe a secondary concern to the vision itself. But I feel like this particular arc was not written to be prickly. I think this was written to be like an enjoyable drama for people to witness, and I just don't think it succeeds at that.
This is not David Lynch fucking with us by playing the guy sweeping the floor for 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
It's not that, no. It's like this is meant to be entertaining television.
Yeah, this is meant to be the good stuff. Well, speaking of the good stuff, let's move on to the next episode, where we meet this handsome character behind me. You know what? I'm gonna keep my face in front of him until we talk about him.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who it is? I'm trying to like not reveal.
I'll give you a clue, Robert. It's a 90s heartthrob playing a 1940s heartthrob.
This episode is the condemned woman. It's all about Josie. I do think this episode does have one of the better like episode structures, and that it has like the way the Josie stuff is written throughout it, and especially the way the Wyndham giving his like 3 little letters to the girls is like structured throughout of it. It actually has like a nice little structure. I actually think even here you can kind of feel the show already starting to pull up a little bit.
Yeah, like just you talking about like the letters and stuff, and like that feels like something that previously would have been spread out over 3 episodes instead of 1.
Yeah, and I like the way it's like resolved really quickly.
Yeah.
Is like nice, and it's a nice little structure to the episode, and it's like a cool little mystery and way to bring these characters together who we haven't really see interact a whole lot, especially this season. And we'll get to that. But we open with Pete and Andrew, best buds. Pete makes Andrew a funny breakfast face, but Catherine is unamused. Josie sees Andrew, and Pete also gets the game with Wyndham to a standstill. But let's introduce this handsome hunk. It's time to board the Zane train. Find
Whoa!
me. Billy Zane. Audrey gets a letter from Wyndham before motherfucking John Justice Wheeler. Billy Zane himself makes his first appearance. I like how they were like, let's give Audrey a love story that's less creepy. How about a guy who's had a picture of her as a child in his wallet for years? This is also the beginning of Healthy Ben and the him trying to protect the little pine weasel, and which is essentially just a scheme to fuck with Catherine. Though it's weird. It's kind of like it's like half and half. It is a scheme to fuck with Catherine, but he also does kind of genuinely seem to be trying to redeem himself in a way.
Yeah, I feel like in a better written show, this would be like, it would intentionally be one of those things where he believes he's taking this on as like a revenge tactic, but in reality, it's like his subconscious trying to move him towards the light, towards being a better person. And I don't necessarily think that that's like intentional. I think that's the direction they end up kind of taking it, but I don't know if that was like their plan.
I still like it in the long run, you know. I mean, it's certainly again compared to Confederate Ben, it's a big it's a big step up.
Yeah.
Zane is an eco business. I'm just gonna call him Zane. Zane is an eco businessman, which isn't a real thing, but good cops aren't either. So that's just peaks, baby. I do like the moment where apparently where Ben is called away because it's like, excuse me, sir, the chef just tried to stab Jerry. And I do like Angelo's Zane theme, that like brown like guitar. I laughed really hard at that one point where they're having a conversation and suddenly she's just like, I'm only 18. Like, girl, calm down. Like she comes off as really horny in that moment.
I was.
Yeah, I mean, I would watch these two fuck for sure. Absolutely. If you were like, I've got a whether it in character as Audrey Horne or John Justice Wheeler, or it's just at this time Billy Zane and Sherilyn Fenn, 100% I'm watching that shit, buddy. You better believe it. That letter from earlier is an invite to the Roadhouse, a gathering of the angels. This is kind of the structure we were mentioning at the beginning that the episode is given, which is kind of nice. My next section is called the Diner and Gas Crowd. Mike Ryan in love, says Nadine, despite not having a scene with him in multiple episodes. Nadine and Ed are consciously uncoupling. Ed gives Norma a big smooch back at the diner, and Shelley, working there again, is really cute about it. Norma visits Hank in jail to ask for a divorce. He will give it for an alibi, and they have an argument, which has a great line from Norma, which is, I'd rather, talking about Ed and Hank, I'd rather be his whore than your wife. And which Hank does not like that.
Yeah, Hank gets a then perish from Norma.
Yeah. Wyndham leaves a letter for Shelley at the diner. We see that it's like a third. It's this like letter that he's written that he's ripped into thirds. And also Norma's sister Annie, who got kicked out of a convent, is coming in tomorrow, aka next episode. Donna and James are super happy now and have a picnic about how cool it was just to see someone get shot to death. She gives him a hall pass for sleeping with Evelyn. He can't come back home for some reason. How long does he come back in season 2 at any point? Is he like back in the show by the last episodes? I forget. Does James show his face?
I can't remember. And I did just watch these like within the last month, but no, I can't remember if he does or not.
Yeah. I don't know why they're optimistic about his future adventures being positive. You know what I mean? Like, they're like really like, oh, you're gonna have so many good stories to tell, and it's like, have you been paying attention? Like, everything James touches turns to shit. Like, he's gonna go and get like a bunch of families killed or something. And then we get their resolution, the gathering of the angels. Shelley, Donna, and Audrey have all gotten a piece of this letter. It's a poem they put together while Wyndham watches. I noticed when I was watching this, I'm proved wrong in a later episode, but I did notice, as I mentioned on the last Twin Peaks Club, apparently Sherilyn Fenn and Lara Flynn Boyle did not like each other very much, and I did notice that in this scene they do stage it so Madchen is in between the two of them. But yeah. And then the big stuff from this episode, Josie and the wooden knob. You've heard,
Make Josie a knob.
You've heard of Harold and the Purple Crown, but what about Josie and the wooden knob? Hank confers that Josie blew up Andrew, and Harry, in a great performance, get him out of here. I love Michael Onkeen so much, but when he raises his voice, he's not very good at it. I think the few times he does it. Coop gives Josie the night. Catherine and Andrew push Josie to meet with Two-Face, though he'll want to kill her if he finds out that Andrew is alive, because he'll think that she double-crossed him, even though she didn't, because she actually did think Andrew was dead. I mean, I feel bad for Josie in some of these scenes. She's like hyperventilating in that one scene with Catherine, and Catherine just is like, look at this gun, imagine what you could do with that.
Yeah, I don't really Josie's like characterization in the whole section, like, it's just I don't really, she doesn't seem as like this calculating killer sort of character that she would sometimes in previous episodes. She definitely feels like someone trapped in a way. Like, I feel way more sympathy for her, especially compared, and we'll talk about it when we talk about the next episode, but there's some stuff they try to do in the next episode that feels at odds with how they're portraying her here, in my opinion. And then Andrew shows up and shows himself to Two-Face, so clearly setting Josie up. And then Cooper is fucking around with fishing gear. I'm calling Thomas Eckert Two-Face because I was calling him Aaron Eckhart. I think people are fucking around with fishing gear. Josie shoots Two-Face. She reveals to Coop that she shot him because she quote unquote knew this day would come, meaning when she shot Coop back in season 1, which is meh. Harry appears, and then she just like fucking dies. As Harry cradles her body, Coop sees Bob in the arm, and there's a couple of episodes here where there's some like bad transfers, clearly for the HD version, where they clearly couldn't find the original film elements, and so you're seeing like transfers from the videotape, which is always funny when it happens. And then Josie appears. Josie gets put into a little wooden knob and has a bunch of little orgasms.
I think she's supposed to be writhing in pain, but she's going like, and it's a little.
Yeah, and then a nice CG wood face comes out of the knob.
What would you do if you became a knob, Connor?
Oh.
What would you do if you became a knob?
And that's the
Like, subscribe, let us know what you would do.
Smash that like button
in the comments.
Yeah. If he became a knob. A storyline that I think they kind of touch upon this in The Return, sort of, but it seems like abstractly, but I know they wanted to more so, and the actress didn't want to return, even though I do think later she said she regretted not returning.
Yeah, I really wish that Josie had returned as the knob, like bouncing around on in each scene. Like the knob would just roll up like a thing in Addams Family.
Well,
I'm a knob now.
Naito ends up being like a version of Diane or something, right? In The Return. We're talking way ahead of ourselves, but like it feels like the vibe is that's also supposed to be like a reference to Josie, maybe, or something. Mm-hmm. You know, certainly when I first saw that episode. But anyways, let's move on. Hey, Naira. Let's move on to the Drunk Harry episode, where we get this really, actually a pretty good split diopter shot here that I liked.
That's a good shot.
And Harry.
Oh yeah, the log lady.
Yeah, she's back. Margaret Lanterman.
Man, forgot about her.
Yeah, we got that nice noir opening.
What happens at the oh yeah. Oh yeah, him like remembering Josie. He's sad about Josie. Coop and
you got the noir music, the noir music playing, and the dark shadows. And
so, is the log actually alive? Did Josie become like what happened with whoever became the log that happened to Josie? Do you understand? Does that have anything to do with anything?
I hadn't thought about that, but maybe.
I was just now thinking about that.
Maybe.
Just now.
Because I do think
Josie become a log.
The implication is supposed to be that it's Margaret's husband's soul, her husband who died in a fire, which we find out in this episode. And which I forget where that might be from one of the books or something, to be honest.
Yeah.
But,
I'll be right back. I gotta run 1 second.
Okay.
You can keep going.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
I gotta go take a shit.
You gotta go take a big shit.
Yeah, man. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Yeah, maybe Josie turned into a log. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, we find out that she weighed only 65 pounds when she died, which goals. Let's skip over a couple of things because I want to get Jason's opinion on this one thing. Here, let's go to some storylines that I'm sure the Ed and Nadine, they sit down with Jacoby to get a divorce, but she just thinks it's a breakup. Nadine finally realizes she's partially blind. Later, Nadine and Mike check into the hotel, but their cover is blown and she destroys the bell. Let's see. Hey, thanks for being back. Let me step back for a second. Whoop. For some reason, Coop thinks confronting Harry about her past will help him. This is the thing we were talking about, where it's like when he's being like, she was a hardened criminal, and it's like I don't know. Like, and he's like trying to shame her for being like a prostitute, and it's like it feels out of character for Coop, honestly.
Yeah. Coop feels like the sort of person who's like really into people redeeming themselves from past transgressions and stuff, and so for him to be like he's like, you know, this woman here, she was no good, down and dirty to the bone.
She was a trollop, a harlequin. And then leads to Harry being like, "Get out of here, go!" But eventually Coop talks him down in a kind of good scene towards the end. Diner time. Annie arrives at the diner. Norma thinks Shelley should go for Miss Twin Peaks in a kind of fun moment. I also laughed when Coop pulls up to the diner bar and he's just reading a book that just says Tibet on it in big letters.
Yeah. It's classic. That, you know, I don't know if David Lynch had any part of that, or if that was just for Lynch, but that just felt like a very Lynchian addition.
Yeah. Coop meets Annie and he's instantly smitten. He loves her strong coffee, and Wyndham is there dressed up as like a roadie for Motorhead or something. The Major and Lanternman have well, there's that moment where he's like eating the pie and he's like, "This pie is compelling," or whatever. But then they approach Coop and they show her she has a different birthmark. It looks like these little mountains, and apparently she had a similar situation when she was younger that happened, like what happened to the Major, where she was abducted by some sort of force. Wyndham and Leo make house. I do kind of like Wyndham's line when he's your silence speaks volumes, or at least the occasional punctuated paragraph. And Wyndham gets mad about the stalemate and infers that Coop is getting help. Wyndham visits Donna, pretending to be an old friend of her dad's, giving her a gift and a number. Pete is going chess wild, but a few pieces will go no matter what. And then later, the Wyndham was posing as like an old friend of her father's, and when the dot comes back, he's like, "Oh, that I saw him die." And the number he left is a cemetery, and the package is the next move. I do love I've always loved how it seems like, you know, because technically it's, you know, this has been what, like a couple months, maybe like 2 months since like the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
And the way Doc just like the way he refers to Cooper, it like so casually, as if he's just like always been there, always been a part of this world. I always like that. And it's, I know this is like a weird tangent to go on. I don't know why this reminded me of it, but it's one of those things where it's like, I think a lot of times people view Lynch as a pessimist, as like somebody who's dark, but I think most of his stuff actually has a real optimism to it if you're actually like paying attention to what it's saying about things. And where Twin Peaks kind of exists as this idealized town, and in that sense it works both ways, where there is this like great darkness to it, but there's also this like incredible light. I don't know, there's something about that's really nice.
Yeah, that contrast has always been like at the center of most Lynch stuff, and is definitely like exemplified in Twin Peaks. Yeah.
The Zane train continues. They have a picnic date where he sings directly into her face.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a date where you just sing right into someone's face, like you're in a movie musical? They should have fucked here.
What do you think of Billy Zane in this show overall?
I mean, Billy Zane's a charming guy. I think you know, I like him and Audrey better than Audrey and Bobby, like that whole thing that they were trying to do, you know.
Yeah, I think he has like a natural charisma that like stops you when you first see him. It's like it's not just like, oh, here's a TV random handsome man, or whatever. It's like here's a guy that you're gonna remember.
He's gonna make you horny.
Yeah, no,
and
for sure.
I think I think the first episode he's in is the best of his episodes, along with like I think his exit's all right, but in the middle it's they just don't seem to do a lot of good stuff with him.
Yeah, that's true. But I do I do like him. And I like Zane. It's funny. Like this is a kind of a random story, but I remember years ago, back when I was working for a company that I'm not going to name here, we did a screening of Titanic at the Vista Theater, and it was
Lockheed Martin.
Lockheed Martin. I was working for the Daily Wire, and we were doing a screening of Titanic at the Vista Theater. And in the credits, you know who got the biggest applause? Motherfucking Billy Zane. He is hamming it up in that movie in such a glorious way. Yeah, he's a lot of fun. He doesn't get to be as fun in this, obviously. You know, like he gets to have more fun in Titanic because he's a villain. He's basically the villain in that movie. But he's good here. I mean, he has that kind of charisma where it's like, he never quite became an A-lister or anything, but he also, like, he seemed like he could have had that potential. You know what I mean? Like, he has like a certain. Is
that it quality?
He's got something to him. You know.
It's the it quality.
Yeah, the X factor.
It's the X factor.
What's the last big thing he's been in?
Zoolander 2?
No.
I don't know. Ben gives Zoe's mom a visit. We get a fashion show. Up at the Great Northern, Dick is running it, and he doesn't like the nerd.
Oh, I have an answer for you. It's the MacGruber television show.
Okay.
Oh. Thank you, Jason.
Dick does make a good point about them not using a stuffed weasel. I think. Yeah,
using a stuffed animal to represent an endangered species at an ecological protest constitutes the supreme incongruity. It's
a solid point. It's probably one of the smartest thing Dick ever says in the entire show. Like,
and it's in the same scene in which he starts talking about the glory of nature and stuff while staring at a woman's breasts.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like the
overcompensating. I will say, I think it might just be a ferret with some marker on it, but it is a pretty cute weasel.
Yeah.
Catherine confronts Ben, but we already kind of talked about Ben's redemption. And then Polly Shore is loosed upon the crowd, and everyone freaks. The weasel, I mean. And Zane and Audrey smooch.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we get two little scenes, including the last scene with Jones, Two-Face's assistant. She shows up to Catherine and gives her a puzzle box, presumably to summon Pinhead with. And then Jones shows up to Harry with a gun and gets into bed with him. What a cliffhanger.
Yeah, whatever. These are like even worse than the last four that we watched the last episode. These just didn't really grab me as much. They just didn't grab.
We're on the last step, and I
wanted to get it over with.
I do like this last episode of this batch.
Me too.
We get another possible age gap relationship.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's back, baby. Lynch has returned.
Thank God.
And
there he is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge hard bar to cross, but this is definitely the best. Like, you can really, I think even in these last two episodes we were talking a little bit about how you can feel it, but I think here you can really start to feel it pulling out of this slump it's been in for the last 8 or so episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last ending continued. Jones does some shit with perfume to make Harry think Josie is there. She tries to kill him, but he thwarts her attempt. They write off the attempt on Harry's life as sexual jealousy on the part of Two-Face. Coop gets Harry to barf. There's a kind of a funny runner in this episode where Harry's like hungover the whole time, and a bonsai tree is delivered by quote unquote Josie. Once more aboard the Zane train. Audrey does him a visit while he's doing a science. He's doing like a science experiment in his room. Did you catch what that was?
No, I didn't really understand what he was.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he was just doing science in his room. I didn't fully understand it, but I guess that's part of his work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he a scientist?
His wretched work. My accursed task upon this earth is to look at this little model or whatever the fuck it was. I do like her egging him on to compliment her. Audrey and Ben have a nice moment. He wants her to be his right-hand man, but it means Audrey has to go on a plane, I guess, which isn't really set up why that's an issue, I guess. In this episode it becomes an issue because they had to be apart, I guess. But Ben curls up on a couch and Zane confesses his love. That's all the Zane stuff. That's the Zane content for this episode.
Yeah, when she comes into his room interrupting a science experiment, he has a line which is essentially like, "Hey, if you come back here again, you better be ready to fuck me."
Oh yeah, he tried to give her a smooch.
He's like, "You better be ready to finish what you start if you come here next time."
You've got me hard, girl.
Yeah.
The Zane train's about to pull into the station.
Yeah, it's I think it's a weird line for his character because like he's not like that at any other point.
Yeah.
Like he's clearly like coming onto her and stuff, and she's reciprocating, but it's like it is more of a like a 1940s kind of heartthrob sort of vibe or whatever, rather than just the extremely aggressive like
Yeah. We get some Wyndham stuff. Gordon arrives, provoking Harry's hangover. The bonsai tree is revealed to be a bug from Wyndham, which Wyndham suffers from when Gordon just yells at it.
classic TV comedy.
We find out that Wyndham took the same drug as the one-armed man. He was involved in Project Blue Book. Coop is reinstated and gets a cool new gun, which I always love. Last week with the Death Wish movies, we were talking about cool guns a lot. More cool guns this episode. And we find out that whoever wins Miss Twin Peaks will die, and Coop will have to watch, which Wyndham illustrates with cards. And Leo notices Shelley being one of the queens.
Shelley.
At the diner,
he does his like Frankenstein Shelley yell.
At the diner, this is maybe my favorite sequence in this episode. Is Gordon also gets Harry to barf, and there's a lot of all-timer lines for me here. I love him saying he wants a steak so rare you could sell it at Tiffany's. And then the classic, maybe one of the best lines, my favorite lines of the entire show, Gordon talking about Shelley. That's the kind of girl that makes you wish you spoke a little French.
We are so back.
We are so back. He can hear her. She's like the one person that that he can hear, and she just wants him to be quiet, which is a funny moment. And he's talking about how it's a miracle, and the log lady's like, "This cherry pie is a miracle." When Shelley, we get another great all-time line, I think, when Shelley is gonna go get him some pie, and he says, massive quantities and a glass of water, sweetheart. My socks are on fire. And yeah, it's just a great scene. I love the Shelley and Gordon stuff, like unironically, like
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody does. Like it's genuinely, it's like it's like it feels like classic Twin Peaks, you know, like I think about these scenes in the context of Twin Peaks in a way that like anything from the last 4 episodes we talked about here or the 4 we talked about last episode, you know, like nothing from any of those really like carries over in the way that some of this stuff does. And there's another scene later that also carries over that I really think about a lot too. But yeah.
That's the good shit that we want right there.
That is good.
High scene.
And
another age gap situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Lynch, 45 years old at the time.
Was he?
How old was Madsen?
21.
Yeah. You know.
But also when you, I mean, I do think it's a good scene, but it's also like, I'm in my 40s and I'm gonna kiss this teenager.
Yeah.
What do you think I do? It's when I go to fucking Olive Garden.
Yeah. I think in a weird, I know this is like maybe a weird thing to say, but like the fact that, you know, Madsen clearly loves David Lynch, you know what I mean? And like they clearly have like a good, like it would have been different in a weird way if Gordon was having this stuff with like Donna or something, like someone who David Lynch, like Laura Flynn Boyle, who he does not have a good relationship with. But the fact that it's like Madsen or something, like for some reason it makes it feel kind of cute.
Yeah, I feel like it's a testament to like the just waves of goodwill that David Lynch emanates.
Yeah.
That it's like a scene in which a man in his 40s is saying that he wants to kiss a teenager. Like the character is a teenager in the show, in high school or whatever.
I think she's supposed to be a year out of high school.
Okay, so like 19 or something, yeah. But it comes across like less creepy and much more like wholesome.
Yeah.
And that's entirely just because of like the good vibes you get from David Lynch. Like he just doesn't seem like a predator.
And
Yeah.
I do think there is like there's clearly like a chemistry between them, whether not necessarily like a full romantic sexual chemistry, but certainly a chemistry where you can see that these people like love each other in a way. And have a lot of affection for each other genuinely.
Yeah, his like he doesn't come across as like leering as he comes across as affectionate.
Yeah, 100%.
You ever been so horny you can hear again?
That's going to be the ending of one of the clips I post for this episode. 100%. Annie and Coop interact again in a cute scene. Harry notices the sparks. Coop's doodles of the tattoos point to Owl Cave. Somehow the triangles become diamonds when he's doodling them, which I've never really understood. Annie thinks of entering the contest. She talks to Shelley about Coop, and she's clearly interested. Here's a large segment I have for this episode called Zoe's Mom Has Got It Going On. I keep calling her Zoe's mom because it's Mary Jo Deschanel, who is the mother of Zoe Deschanel, who's playing Donna's mom, Eileen. Donna stakes out her mom going to the Great Northern to have a chat with Ben. Donna and Audrey actually have a scene and shots together. Maybe they were more cool by this point, once they had like called off the romance between Cooper and Audrey. At first, in the first scene that they have together, it's all just dirty singles. So I thought it was maybe it was like stand-ins and they actually weren't on set together. But there's like a shot or two later where they are clearly on set together and right next to each other with no Madsen in between them, like on the previous episode. Eileen wants to give Ben back his letters. He's trying to make amends. They clearly had a relationship at some point. The the girls over here, have you told her? And stay away from him. Very leading things to hear. Donna runs into Mike and Nadine after they've been fucking. And he looks satisfied. He looks like a man happy. Donna gets a San Francisco postcard from James, and the doc denies his wife's connection to Ben, even though she gets flowers, like, as he's doing this. And then in a scene that I guess they couldn't find the original film negative of, because it's like half looks like shitty video quality, Audrey visits the library and runs into Wyndham. He identifies the poem they got, but unnerves her with the words he uses.
Wyndham Earl, once again, master of disguises.
Master.
Oh, hey, Wyndham.
Hey, Wyndham. Hey, it's
Hi,
Wyndham
Wyndham.
again.
Wyndham's just kind of dicking around.
I wish I kind of would love for Wyndham to show up again.
Yeah.
I want even more Wyndham.
That guy's
I want
still
Wyndham
alive?
Earl to show up in other franchises.
That would be funny. I
Why
want to
don't
make
you add him to the DC universe?
the power structure of the DC universe is about to change. They're adding Wyndham Earl to Fortnite.
Yeah, and it's just every character has an outfit that's just Wyndham Earl playing that character.
At the station, Andy fucks around with some spelunking gear as Lucy basically chooses Andy in this episode. Is basically like, I'm not interested in Dick.
Thank God.
Pete gives them a pawn sacrifice for a bishop, and Gordon apparently goes to see Doc with Shelley about his hearing. At the end of the episode, we get some Owl Cave stuff. They find the mural with the flame. Andy finds a secret. Is this the first time we see that little symbol, the little like square with the wings?
Yeah, I think so, and that's when the little music cue I sent you plays.
Oh yeah.
to reveal it.
Where did I put it?
There you go.
There's two lines here. I mentioned earlier. There's another scene I really love. There's two lines in this scene that to me are classic Twin Peaks, which is coincidence and fate figure largely in our lives, and the even better one. I have no idea where this will lead us, but I have a definite feeling it will be a place both wonderful and strange.
Denny's.
Yeah. We're going to Denny's. Later, Coop and Annie have a moment at the hotel bar, which is nice. She says, I like this exchange where she's like, some people, I do like Annie. Annie's a nice character that's introduced as like a kind of new love interest. And Heather Graham's obviously got a lot of charisma. And
I really like, even though I think it's like every line is like a little bit awkward, I like the very weird way that Annie always talks.
Yeah.
Just like the way every single one of her lines is written. It's like, this is a way in which like no human being will ever has ever spoken. But
it makes me wish I saw Heather. I wish Heather Graham had been in like another David Lynch thing at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I think she kind of like nails the vibe.
yeah.
And
Was she in the Fire Walk with Me? Oh, she was in a deleted scene.
Well, she's in Fire Walk with Me, the actual movie, I think, right? She's in the one scene where she like appears in, spoiler for Fire Walk with Me, but she appears in Laura's bed, during a nightmare. But you know, I mean, more like a more substantial thing. Like it would have been cool to see her. You know, I don't know where the fuck you would put her in like his list of movies, but.
Yeah, because all of the lines that she has written are lines that are just just really hard to just say and make it seem as if it's a character saying them.
Yeah.
as opposed to an actor saying an awkward line. So it's just just really good work on her part.
I do like their little exchange where she's like, some people think I'm strange, and Cooper says, I know the feeling. And
I'm weird. I'm a weird guy. You see this hat?
And then back at the cave, Wyndham pulls the thing and it rumbles. And this has always bothered me actually about this. When he pulls it and he's just using one hand, it gives my, especially now, it gives my like, because whenever I'm like using this hand in this motion for, you know, like whatever, like cleaning or, you know, doing anything else, sometimes I'll get like cramps and stuff. And so like I saw it, I'm like, oh, why you're using that hand? Like, use both hands, Wyndham. Like, you're gonna like this is how arthritis starts to get into your bones. And then a bunch of sand is released, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
I feel like this. The television show Lost was apparently heavily inspired by Twin Peaks, and I feel like weirdly this is an episode that had a lot of influence on Lost.
Yeah. I actually like the cave stuff. I have a shirt. I'm gonna wear it next time. But when Wyndham, the sand is released, like a bigger mural is released, and I have a shirt that is that mural that gets shown, and it's a cool design. But yeah, I think I don't know, like we talked a little bit, Jason, once or twice about how like I was talking about how I especially think if you're watching Twin Peaks for the first time, you can't skip these episodes. Like, it's very tempting to, but I think
definitely not.
I think you have to watch these episodes at least once. And I do think they are kind of intrinsically part of Twin Peaks to me, and I still like them. It's like, you know, the worst episodes of my favorite show are still something I like, you know, for the most part. But yeah, I mean, I guess I could see skipping them on a rewatch, but I don't know. I also can't at the same time. It's weird.
I probably I don't know.
I definitely wouldn't skip this last episode. This last episode
I wouldn't skip this one.
This is when this is when I would start watching again for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it depends on why someone is watching the show, because like there's people I would recommend this show to who, like, I might just say just watch, you know, the pilot.
or like with, I think we talked about with my mom on a previous episode. I don't know if you were here, but I showed her up until the episode where Leland died. Yeah. And then I didn't show her anything else because I was like, the next 8 episodes aren't very good, and you'll like the couple episodes after that, but then you will not like the movie or the return.
But yeah, I think especially if like you like are planning on watching the movie and the return, the movie and the return like does a lot with the idea of what Twin Peaks itself became, and I don't think you get the full benefit without having watched these episodes.
Certainly, to get the full Twin Peaks experience, you do have to watch these episodes at least once.
Sorry, you have to do it.
You have to. And by the time we get to the next volume, the last 4 episodes of season 2, I think those episodes are all a pleasure, you know, and especially those last 2, and especially the last one are very good. So I think like most people wouldn't have a problem once you start getting to where we are at this point. But yeah, I do think people kind of have to watch the last episode was like the whatchamacallit, who was he? The fucking Michael Parks saga with the Renault character, and then this episode, this series of episodes is like, let's wrap all this shit up. Like we gotta fucking move on, baby. We gotta get over this shit. Yeah, but I still like these episodes. I really like this last episode a lot. It's very good. Maybe not very good, but it feels like what if Twin Peaks was, if this episode that we just last talked about was the worst episode of Twin Peaks, nobody would talk shit about season 2 of Twin Peaks. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think it's just gonna be the three of us, which will be good for y'all. It's time to move on.
Here we go.
To Connor's Wicked Games.
Your ass is grass, Jason.
By Chris Isaac, David Lynch's best friend. Every week, like Jigsaw, I like to play a little game. This week, Connor's Wicked Wheel, Volume 2. It's basically the same rules as the last time. Wheel of Fortune, I'm gonna roll a dice. I've made the categories from the actual show or stuff that's like related. The answers are Twin Peaks themed. 4 puzzles, no final round. Vowels are bought for 1 point. Score gets saved for each puzzle. Finishing a puzzle gets you 1 point plus 1 extra point for each blank space you end up with. There's one catch. Bob has infiltrated at least one of these puzzles, meaning B.O.B. has replaced 3 letters in an answer. For example, if the answer was Agent Dale Cooper, the new answer might now be Agent Bob Cooper.
Uh-oh.
And we will we'll start. Let me pull up the screen. Jason here is going to
Bob.
Jason here is going to be my Vanna White, so I can focus on actually hosting the show. So sorry you have to pull double duty, Jason. But,
Oh no problem.
I like
I
your...
drew a bird on the screen.
Yeah, I see that over there. Let me see. Was that? I'm trying to see what that looks like. Oh yeah, I gotta switch to the actual.
I was wondering what that was about.
You can see my pointer on this screen. So we'll have you start, Bobby. I thought for a minute if we didn't have a third, I thought about getting ChatGPT to play the third, but I don't want to support AI because fuck them. So Bobby, we'll have you go first. You're playing for 4 points. The first, do you have the link pulled up for the first puzzle?
Yeah.
It's
a landmark.
Landmark.
This is a cash prize.
It's a cash prize. Yes.
If I win, sweet.
Well, it's more so if you lose, I have some guys who are going to come over and sort of, they have like baseball bats and stuff. So that's really the motivation. If you win, nothing happens.
Must be Wednesday.
Yeah.
Must be a day that ends with Y. The guys with baseball bats coming over wanting money from me.
What do you think, Bobby?
Let's get the show on the road. What do you want?
A letter. 4 points.
I'm gonna go with a H.
No H's.
Okay. Damn.
Jason, you're playing for 1 point a letter.
1 point. Great. Is there a R?
There is one R right here.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh no, I'm on. Sorry, 1 second. I changed my color to white. There we go.
And then give yourself 1 point. And the
1 point. Oh no. 1 second. I got it. It won't let me draw there.
Okay, here I'll do that. There we go. I got that. You can write in stuff and I'll keep the points instead.
Okay.
Because it's my computer's not revolting the way it was originally when I first did this. Jason, do you want to solve or pass? Try this.
Wait, solve or pass?
Yeah, that's all you can do.
I can't spin again after.
Oh yeah, I guess you can spin again. Yes, you're gonna spin again.
I would like to spin again. Yes.
All right, you're playing for 1 point again.
1 again. T.
No.
Dang it.
Bobby, you are once again playing for 4 points. You rolled the exact same thing.
I'm gonna go with In?
Bam.
What the fuck?
Jason, you are playing for 3 points.
Oh, 3 points. S.
Bam.
Son of a gun.
Bobby, 2 points.
B.
There are 2 B's.
Oh my god. All right. Oh yeah.
Jason, what are you doing, man?
1 second. Oh my god. Oh, you know what? Sorry. I can draw on the thing again.
Okay, cool.
I solved what the problem was.
Okay, cool, sweet.
I defeated the evil.
Do you want to solve or spin again or buy a vowel, Bobby?
I'm gonna buy a valve. Oh, did I say vowel? A vowel. I'm gonna buy a vowel.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I don't know what happened to my brain there first.
What are you buying?
I think I'm gonna buy an O.
There's 1 O.
Huh,
Right here.
interesting. That was kind of a waste, huh? Why did I do that?
I'll get rid of one of his points. Do you want to spin or buy another vowel or spin?
I'm gonna spin.
You are paying
No, wait.
playing for 1 point.
M. M is in.
There is
morning?
1 M right here.
1 M.
Here,
Oh wait.
I'll give him the point.
1 second. For some reason it keeps changing me from the pen to the arrow. But I got it.
Bobby, spin or solve or buy or vowel?
I'll buy a vowel.
What do you want to buy?
A.
There are 2 A's here and
Suck it.
here. Spin or solve or buy another vowel?
F. Oh, my
have
spin.
to spin.
My bad. Spin. So I have a little fuzzy brain today.
You're gonna guess F though?
Yeah.
That's for 4 points, and there is an F right here.
Huh.
All right, spin or solve?
Spin. I know this seems really obvious, but I don't know what it is.
Playing for 1 point. What do you want to guess?
The hell?
I'm with you, Robert. I feel like this should be very obvious, but I think the Bob is screwing me up.
Yeah, the Bob's kind of
I'll go ahead and tell you that's one of the ones that Bob has taken over. That's not
Yeah.
supposed to be Bob. It is. I will say this just as a hint. He directly replaces letters, so it's not like he took a longer word and made it 3 letters. Whatever word is there is 3 letters wrong, and it just got completely replaced with Bob. I have another hint I could give, but I think it would make it a little too easy, so I'm not.
There's a landmark in the show?
Yeah.
Is there a farm in the show?
What did I say you were playing for? 1 point again?
Yeah.
What do you want to guess?
C.
Bam, bam, bam. Jason,
I don't fucking know.
you're playing for 2 points.
Is there a S?
Bam, bam, bam. Bobby, you're playing for 1 point.
I'm just gonna go down every letter in the alphabet. We'll get it one day.
Now that both of you have failed, I'll give this hint. I designed this. Think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the fact that I designed these for last episode.
Ah, fuck.
Bobby?
That was 6 months ago.
That was back before Donald Trump got shot.
Yeah.
Lifetime ago.
Before Tenacious D broke up.
History has happened.
Yeah. Before our entire election system got changed by an album called Brat and a couch fucking joke.
It's before Donald Trump announced his VP, Wyndham Earl, and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris announced her VP, also Wyndham Earl.
But this time he's dressed as the Motorhead roadie. What are you guessing, Bobby?
Did we say W yet?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Jason, 1 point.
You know what? I'm gonna guess the letter C.
I almost went with that.
I think somebody already guessed that.
I'll guess D then. Let's just go down the line.
There are 2 D's.
Oh my god. Yeah, this was obvious. Yeah, all right.
The double D and the Bob thing.
Do you want to solve it for 2 additional points?
I will solve it. Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah, it's I mean, dead Bob farm, dead dog farm.
Yep, 100%. Which, like I said, that would have been easier probably last episode, because that was the episode that it was sort of that had that stuff in it.
No, this is totally memory just
yeah,
just vanishing. Because that's a memorable place.
Yeah.
Dead
Next.
Bob Farm is the name of what they're gonna call the farm that I can't connect it.
Well, y'all are tied after round 1. So
something about
I
me
will
dying
say,
in a farm.
because there isn't a third player, you guys are also going to get a bonus. Originally, I think I've never had an episode where just the 2 of y'all playing. I keep track of, I give you guys medals and I keep track. And what I do is when there's an episode where there's only 2 people playing, I give them a minus to the amount of times they appear, which basically makes the bottom part of the ratio when figuring out the quote unquote GPA, like how good you're doing, lower. So y'all are getting a little bonus that way. This next category, we'll start with Bobby.
You won that one fair and square, Jason.
Thank you.
It's tied so far. Actually,
which means I'm winning.
Yeah. Bobby,
I have a natural advantage.
The category here.
The bird says bonk bonk.
The category here is
the bird's talking.
Who does what? And you're playing for 2 points.
Is there only one Bob? Is the one Bob?
Maybe not.
There could be another Bob.
There could be another Bob.
Am I the first one here?
Yeah, playing for 2 points.
I think Daddy's gonna go with a lucky R.
There are no R's.
Oh my god.
You're playing for 1 point, Jason.
Just to get the suspense out of here, I'm gonna guess B.
Nope. No B's.
All right, we're safe from Bob this time.
Bobby, you're playing for 4 points.
Wow. I'm gonna go with M.
There is 1 M right here.
Huh.
Would you like to buy a vowel, or spin, or try to solve?
I'm gonna buy a vowel. I'm gonna go with an O. Like my favorite food, SpaghettiOs.
There is,
with Frank's,
I believe, 2 O's. There's one right here, and one right here. All right, spin solve, or buy a vowel?
I'm gonna spin.
All right, you're playing for 1 point.
W.
Jason, you're playing for 1 point.
N.
Yeah, I almost went with that.
There are 2 N's. There's one right here and one right here.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Spin, solve, or buy a vowel?
I'll spin.
That is 2 points.
S.
Yes, there is 2 S's right here and right here for 4 points. Spin, solve, or buy a vowel.
What the heck that 2-letter word is? I keep trying to solve the 2-letter word. I don't. I'll spin again.
All right, you're playing for 2 points.
T.
2 T's right here and right here.
Oh, there you go, Mr. Soft.
Finally. I guess I will I'll buy a vowel.
What do you want to buy?
U.
There are no U's. Bobby,
Wow.
you're playing for 2 points.
Did we say H already?
No, because there is one.
Yeah,
one.
H. Huh.
Wonder what that word is.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Wait a
And
minute. Oh no. What the fuck?
what? All right, do you want to spin, solve, or buy a vowel?
I'm gonna buy a vowel. I'm gonna go with E.
An E. That's gonna cost you 1, but there's gonna be quite a lot of E's. There's gonna be 1 right here, obviously, and there's going to be 2, both right here. Spin, solve, or buy a vowel.
Hold on a second.
Thinking.
That's another like it should be obvious.
I've got to put there's a sound I have to put. Oh, I do have it on here.
Oh no. I'm gonna go with H. I mean, we already said H. I'm gonna go E. I mean, W. These are all letters already. Wait, hold on a second. I'm looking at my keyboard for letter ideas. Wait, hold on a second. P.
Jason, you're
But I
playing.
really blew that one.
Jason,
I really blew it.
you rolled a 20, so you're playing for 5 points and a free play.
And a free play. What's a free play?
It means you'll get to if you make a mistake in the future, you'll get to guess again.
Oh boy. Yeah, I guess I'll guess a letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, PTSD.
You got any
5 seconds The big M word.
yeah.
Oh, I think I fucked up somewhere. Actually, I just realized this in right here should be here.
Oh, what the?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This changes everything.
Would that have changed what you guessed, Bobby?
No,
Okay.
I don't know.
I guess G.
There is one G. Or two G's, actually. Second one right here. So, damn, that's 10 points and a free play.
Oh. Yeah, I'm with Robert here. I just like
The M word is really
I'm just
irritating me.
I'm just looking at this and
Do you wanna buy a vowel?
I need to use my
but-
brain more.
yeah, why not buy a vowel?
What do you want to buy?
Might as well.
Yeah, why not? Let's see. I'd like to buy. Did you get it, Robert?
I got it, and it's too late.
Well, not necessarily. Okay, A.
There are two A's, one right here and one right here.
Wait, where's the second one? Yeah. Oh. I guess I'll solve it.
Yes. What do you want to do? For it'll be 5 points.
The magician longs to see.
That is indeed the magician longs to see. Who does what? The magician, and he longs to see. So that'll put you at.
Sorry, Robert.
Hey man, those in moving that in would have. Yeah, that would have changed everything. No, that was some bullshit, man.
You know what, Bobby? To make up for it, I'll give you your own free play. You get.
I'm
you
not
get-
actually-
You get a free play.
Totally.
No,
I'm not actually upset about that.
I'm gonna comp it.
The long M word is what fucked things up for me no matter what.
If Jason is okay with it, I'm gonna give Bobby a free play for fucking that up.
We should just we should even out our scores.
You're just saying you should give him you want to give him 19 points?
Robert should get 19 points for this mistake.
Okay. He'll get 19 points, but he won't get he won't get the free play.
Won't get the free play.
So you'll have that.
We're back. We're dead even again.
Except you have the free play still.
You didn't need to do that.
Well, let's erase all this shit.
No matter what, I wouldn't have guessed the long M word is what was fucking everything up.
Well, we've already done it,
But then that G came along.
so we're just gonna move on.
And then I thought of G.
All right, next up, Bobby, you get to start. This is a quote. You're playing for 1 point.
I'm just gonna B.
There is one B right here.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
Do you want to spin, solve, or buy a vowel?
I'm a spin.
1 point. What do you want to guess?
R.
There is 1, 2, 3 R's.
All right, where's the second one?
Hold on. You wrote a B.
Oh yeah, I did. I'm sabotaging the game.
It's the second one is here.
There.
No.
No. Okay, I got it.
All right, Bobby. Spin, solve, or buy a vowel.
I'll buy a vowel.
What do you want to buy?
A.
There are a few A's. There's an A here. And that's it, actually. There's only one A.
Yeah, I'll put
right.
some A's up in the sky.
Bobby, spin, solve, buy a vowel. I will
Thank
say,
you, Jason.
when I say quote, this is a quote from the show that a character says.
Yeah. T. Wait, it'll spin. T.
Uh-oh, you rolled a 1. That's bankrupt and lose a turn. Jason.
Oh, well.
One point.
Is there any T's?
There are at least 2. There's one right here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one right here. And you're playing for 1, so you get 2 points.
Nice.
Spin,
Now
solve,
this is
buy
a
vowel.
question.
It is a question.
I will. You know what? I'm gonna buy a vowel.
What are you gonna buy?
I would like to buy a O.
There is an O here. And there's an O here. Spin, solve, buy a vowel.
Spin.
You are playing for 3 points.
Any N's?
There's an N right here. And that's it. That was 3 points, I said, right?
I gotta buy another vowel.
What do you want to buy?
E.
Well, there's an E where you think it is, and there is an E also. Yeah, right here. This is where I'm thinking. Well, here also. There's an E.
Oh. There you go.
And there's a bunch of E's, actually. There's an E here, and an E here. And one more here.
Ha.
All right, spin, solve, buy a vowel.
I'll spin.
Someone is talking to Ben,
1 point.
asking him a question.
Playing for 1 point.
W.
Yep, there is one W right here.
Yeah.
Next.
I'll spin again.
You're playing for 3 points.
H.
There's one right here. One right here. And one right here. So that's 9 points. Spin, solve, or buy a vowel. I feel like Jason's kind of has it like halfway in his brain right now.
Yeah, halfway's
Well, I
not
mean-
good enough.
It's one of my.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know half of it too.
It's one of my favorite lines, to be honest. It's like a really funny line, especially the way the guy delivers it.
In the words of Jason, halfway's not good enough.
Yeah.
A wise man once said.
I guess I'll spin.
1 point.
Are any L's?
There are none. But do you want to use your free play and go again?
Yeah, I guess so. Why not?
All right, you can make another guess.
I don't remember what letters you named. I'm not even gonna know.
Yeah. You get another guess, Jason.
I guessed M yet.
You have not. But unfortunately, there is none. So it is Bobby.
Okay, I'm trying to think of a letter.
Rolled a
that,
25 and a free play.
Oh wow.
I mean, I want to put my finger on the scale, but I feel like there's something kind of obvious.
I'm gonna spin. Oh, I just spun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say S.
There are 3 S's.
Yeah.
So that's
Well, there you go.
15 points and a thing for you. Yes, there's one right there, Jason. You can go ahead and put that one in. And the other ones are here, here, and here at the beginning and end of this word. Spin, solve, or buy a vowel, Bobby?
I'm gonna buy a vowel.
What do you want to buy?
I.
There are a few eyes. There is one right here. There are 2 eyes. One right here and one right here. Spin, solve, buy a vowel.
It's funny how bad both me and Robert are at these games. I play Wheel of Fortune occasionally on my stream. Like, there's a lot of Wheel of Fortune games, and I cannot imagine like like actually being on that show. I could be like one letter. There could be one single letter missing. I'm like, I don't know.
Spin.
1 point.
L.
L has already been guessed,
Fuck.
but you can guess something else.
Oh, I thought I had it, but the letter's already. What would you say? What'd you say?
I didn't say anything. You said L, and I said L's already been guessed, so guess something else.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I thought that was a loss. Y.
There is one Y right here. Oh, whoops.
Wait, are we missing an S?
Nope.
Huh. Okay. We're not missing an S or a T?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
I'll go ahead and say that all the vowels are on the board.
Okay.
Spin, solve.
C already? Oh, spin.
You spun.
Yes.
This is 5 points. And what are you guessing?
C?
It's a good guess.
There are 2 C's here and here.
Yeah, I got this a couple seconds ago. I just suddenly the character who says it popped in my head. It's like, oh.
Spin,
Yeah.
solve, or buy a vowel. Or, well, no, you can't buy a vowel.
I guess I'll solve.
What do you want to? What do you want to? What do you want to solve?
Ben, where are those hickory sticks?
Yep, Ben. Where are those hickory sticks? One of my favorite line deliveries in maybe the whole show. And
Yeah, Ben's brother.
yeah, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just what a character.
What a character. All right, last round.
I feel like evening us out was kind of a little overcorrected from the end situation.
Hey, it's
But,
fine.
Whatever, I'll take it.
This is before and after, which is a real category. So the way it'll work in there, it'll be like two phrases where the last part of one phrase is the first part of another. Like it'll be like I'm trying to think of a good example. This like I can't think of one, but it'll be like Like imagine it's two movie titles. Scott Pilgrim versus the World War Z. Like that would be an example. You know what I mean? Where it's like combining World War Z with Scott Pilgrim versus the World by combining. So it's the same idea. And we will start with Jason this time.
Yeah.
Jason, you're guessing for 4 points.
R.
Nope.
Dang it.
Bobby, 5 points. High rollers.
B.
Nope.
It would be really funny to have Bob.
In the last one, yeah. Well,
Just have Bob in it before and after, just because.
I thought about, so originally this was written, there was like two Bobs. There was one in the first half, one in the second. One of this was like one thing. And when I was like preparing this episode, I was like, maybe I'll put Bob in. But nah, it doesn't really, it doesn't fit. So Jason, it's back to you. 1 point.
S.
There is one S right here. Spin, solve, or
I guess I'll spin.
that's 4 points.
Any T's?
There is two T's right here and right here.
Not feeling good about this.
Well, technically, when you didn't get the B a second ago, I should have given you your free play, so that'll even out you not getting the you overcompensating earlier. So Jason, spin, solve, or buy a vowel.
I'm gonna buy a vowel.
All right, what are you gonna buy?
Any E's?
There is a few. There's one right here, and that's it. Actually, there's just one.
I'll add some E's up to the top. I guess I'll spin.
1 point.
Are there any H's?
That's a good guess, Jason.
There are two, and they're right next to each other, right here.
That is
Nice.
That's exactly what I would have done, if I was in your position.
Mm-hmm.
That was 1 point, I think I said, right?
Yeah.
We need to just have a podcast where we just play this.
That'd
Just
be
me
great.
versus Jason. Not really.
Jason, what do you want to do?
I guess I'll spin again.
That is for 2 points.
Are there any N's?
There is not.
Dang
Bobby, you gotta miss a turn. Do you want to use your free play to roll again, or do you want to just give it back to Jason?
No, I'll give it back to Jason.
All right, Jason, you're playing for 1 point.
There any W's?
There are two. There's one right here and one right here.
Yeah, I guess I'll just buy a vowel then.
What are you gonna buy?
A.
There is at least two A's. There's one right here. There's a second one right here.
Wow. The fuck?
Spin.
That is. You lose a turn. It's Bobby's turn.
Son of a gun.
Fortunately. Give me 1 second here. Sorry. Bobby, you are playing for 2 points.
Are there any L's?
Son of a gun.
There are two L's.
I was hoping Robert hadn't caught on.
Buy a vowel or spin or solve.
I honestly still don't know. So
You gonna spin?
yeah, I'm gonna spin.
1 point.
God damn it. Well, Jason has it.
Well, I got that word. I've got like nearly the entire puzzle, and I still don't actually have the full solution.
I said 1 point, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. What do you want to do, Bobby?
Wait, what are my options?
You're just guessing now. You spun.
Spin. I'm just sorry. I'm losing track of what letters we already named. Again.
Well, if you say one that you've said, I'll just tell you.
Did we say M?
You did not, so you get a point for it.
Okay.
It goes exactly where you think it does. You want to spin, buy a vowel, or solve?
I'll buy a vowel.
All right.
I.
There is exactly one, exactly where you think it is.
Well, now you're where I was at, Robert. So
Yeah.
Spin, solve, or buy a vowel. What's this last word, baby?
I'll buy a. Oh no.
You could buy a vowel.
I'll buy a vowel.
Go ahead.
O.
There is one O in the middle of that word.
There you go.
Spin, solve, or buy. Oh, guys, there's no more vowels.
What the fuck?
Oh, you know what? You should have gotten 2 more points earlier. There's one more L. This was during this. It's right here.
Man, there's a lot of bullshit going on.
Well, this was
Rigged system.
To be fair, I remembered this one while it was happening. So, what do you want to do? Spin. There's one left. Spin, and you have a free play, so you'll get to guess twice or respin or whatever.
Well, now I feel really stupid. I feel like this is there. I mean, it's basically there.
Well, Jason,
I can't believe it.
Jason has his stream in 15 minutes, so let's just guess. Just
I
start
know,
guessing
I know.
letters.
I know.
Yeah, but
Do you want to spin?
Do you have it, Jason probably has it, right?
yeah.
Do you want to spin, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm gonna spin.
Right, 1 point.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you want to solve it? That'll give you 2 points.
What? Yeah, I'll solve it. What the log sawmill?
Yeah, it's what the log saw and sawmill basically combined.
I don't know.
And so, Bobby, congratulations, you won. You won.
Wow, I won.
You won that one. So it'll be it's a but it's still, Jason, you get a silver medal.
Thank you. I'm so glad we got the actual situation of there being exactly one letter missing and still.
How long did it take you to figure out a log?
As soon as the O was there, I was like, oh.
I don't.
Well, let's.
I couldn't guess log. Yeah, I was having trouble with log.
No worries. Let's really briefly.
Oh, great.
I'm like halfway through my very beat up now copy of Children of Dune. I like left some clothes on it that were after going swimming, and then the other week I was doing Uber Eats delivery, and some pizza grease got over some pages that you can't see.
Oh no!
The thing is, you can kind of see there. Yeah, you see the pizza grease in the bottom. But Children of Dune, good book.
Did you get a good tip on that Uber Eats?
I probably not. To be totally honest. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah. Anything else? I think we should get into genocide and a free Palestine. Or were you gonna say something about Children of Dune?
No, I liked it more than Messiah.
Yeah.
I like Messiah, but I like Children of Dune more.
I was gonna shout out a couple things. One is I watched one of the few Carpenter films I've never seen, Starman, for the first time, which was a solid little 80s sort of sci-fi romance. I want to say rest in peace, speaking of Carpenter, to Charles Cyphers, character actor who was in a bunch of John Carpenter movies. And I also want to say highly recommend the new Ultimate Spider-Man series, which involves a Peter Parker who is like 40 years old and is married to Mary Jane and has 2 kids, and like Uncle Ben is running the Daily Bugle with J. Jonah Jameson, and that's when Peter Parker gets his Spider-Man powers. It's been really good. It's Hickman's a great. If you want great cape shit, Hickman, you can do a lot worse than Hickman. He's a very good writer of cape shit, and so highly recommend Ultimate Spider-Man. But yeah,
I'll wait until the movie comes out.
yeah. But y'all got anything?
No.
All right.
Right.
All right. Well, our next Twin Peaks Club, covering the last 4 episodes of the original show, will probably be like early September. I want to thank Brian Robert for composing our outro. Please follow us on Instagram and TikTok at CinemaCurse666. Please like and subscribe. Smash that like button.
I'm on Twitter.
And recommend this to your local shitty shrink. That's who you should.
How many more season 2 episodes are there?
4.
Cool.
Let's see, closing credit, Twin Peaks Club. And next episode, though, which I think will be next week, it might be in 2 weeks, is going to be a Summer Screams episode. There's been a lot of horror movies. We kind of did something like this really early on. I don't know, my camera unfocused on me again. I'll get really close like this. But we're talking about Longlegs, Maxine, A Quiet Place Day 1, Trap, and Cuckoo on next episode. Some 4 of which I've seen, all of which I've enjoyed quite a bit, actually. Brian will be on that episode, I assume. They have enjoyed none of those episodes as far as I can tell, or none of those movies as far as I can tell. So it'll be an interesting discussion. And that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for joining.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Bye bye.